like the opposite of strong is weak. Who wants to be that? And when people are now using terms like alpha woman, alpha man, they're trying to back you into this corner to justify again why you're not desirable, or why you're not this, or why you're that. And
little toughness. Got challenges that you're going to run across.
Welcome to another episode of Elite Psyche.
And I said a similar thing was, would I date somebody who was intimidated by me? I had a situation where would I date someone who was intimidated by me to the point where I would stop my career for that relationship? And my answer was that this is my calling in life. This is my purpose. And if there is the man for me would not desire me to not be living in my purpose. The man for me is a leader who is looking for us to have the ability to merge what we're both put here to do. And if that man that I'm dating or that desires me isn't a person who wants to foster the leader in me the same way that I want to foster the leader in him, then I will do it by myself before I give up every single thing that I've done to serve somebody's ego.
Do you consider yourself a alpha female? Like you're alpha?
I don't buy into that stuff.
Okay.
I consider myself a woman, and I consider myself a really good woman. I don't buy into the alpha, beta, all that stuff because people use that against you. I am a strong woman, and I know that we're in this season of it's not desirable to be a strong woman. Well, it is to me. I am a strong woman because I believe that it takes strength of a woman to produce children, to reproduce, right? I believe that it took, there was nothing less than strength for me to get through that season of 2008 to 2010. I believe that it requires the strength of a woman for her to build her own business and empire. But I also believe that it requires the strength of a woman to be able to support whatever man she ends up choosing for herself. That's not easy to do, right? It's not easy to jump onto somebody else's program and say, hey, I am going to balance motherhood. I'm going to balance this household. I'm going to balance all these things and support you. And I also, and not be strong. Like, you have to be strong in order to do these things. So when we say things, sometimes it's just like the ridiculousness of it all. You won't ever get to the end goal. Like, the opposite of strong is weak. Who wants to be that? And when people are now using terms like alpha woman, alpha man, they're trying to back you into this corner to justify again why you're not desirable, or why you're not this, or why you're that. And so I don't buy into all of those things. I am a woman. I am a strong woman. I am a very considerate woman. I am also a soft woman. I am whatever I need to be that's appropriate for the situation. And when you deal with women who are in business or women who are in leadership, the one thing that works against us is that we get a lot of public exposure, right? I live my life out loud. Well, when I'm at home and with whoever I'm at home with, I live my life privately. The internet doesn't need to or deserve to see soft Donnie cuddled up on a sofa being rubbed on by her man. That's nobody's business. So when you have a woman who is in leadership, who is confident and secure, and my whole business is to be a leader, like, nobody would hire me to be their business coach if they thought I was a weak woman or a weak person. Nobody would hire a man to be their business coach if they thought that he was weak. It's just really stupid shit to say. It just really is, right? So the business side of me has to be the leader. The business side of me has to be tough. The business side of me has to see things in black and white. But there are people in a very small group of people who get to see the personal side of me, and it's not appropriate for everybody. It's just like politicians who are out running the world. It's not appropriate to see them out with their friends snorting cocaine, but we know that they do it.
Yeah. All right. So I got two more questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. The first one is you being a business, and
me being a what? You cut out.
Business coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always not saying correctly the things you say, but I'm gonna try to put it in the ballpark. That well, first thing is, how did you come about being this coach and business coach? And the second thing is, I don't know the term you use, but is it the number one? Is it female business coach or is it number one coach?
Who I am? I am the number one business coach in these streets right now. And where'd I get that from? Me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the number one business coach that I know. I'm the number one business coach that my family knows. I'm the number one business coach that people in my community who tell me I am their favorite business coach is. So that's where that comes from. I'm a really good business coach. I started as a result, it's a spinoff of network marketing in terms of business coach. I've always been the coach. I've always been that bossy little girl who be like, you need to do this and you should do that and you should try this. Like I've always had a gift of identifying other people's gifts. And I took leadership and said, you should do that, right? And so that was that. But in business, in network marketing, one of the things that worked against me in network marketing, you know how we would do the three-way calls?
Mm-hmm.
People would put me on the phone with some of their prospects and I'd be on the phone with them like, hey, you'll never survive in this industry. You'll never make it. The goals that you want, that you're telling me that you want to get out of here, like it's either your mindset or your interest level or whatever it is, your confidence level, you're not going to make it here. But in talking to you, I think you should try this. Have you ever considered this? Like listening to you should try this. And people would be like, oh my God.
You doing that? You sending my money away, Doc.
Listen, my uplines would be so pissed off with me when I would do stuff like that. But I just couldn't. I was never the network marketer that would just sign anybody up when they communicated that their goal was to go and recruit the world. And I'm talking to you and I know you're not going to recruit. You're not even going to recruit the two people to break you. Right. So I would, if they were just coming in to use the product, that was one thing. But if they were like, I'm going to make millions and I'm like, no, you probably would be really great at this thing though. Right. And so one guy that I told that to, he actually went and started the business. And he ended up making 6 figures.
Wow.
And he was just shouting me out on Instagram. And so, I mean, not on Instagram, on Facebook, but I had done this so much. So when I started sharing his story, other people, like I would repost his story, other people that I had told that same thing to started also posting like, hey, Donnie, just letting you know, I went and started this business, or I went and started this, or I started this career. And I was like, oh, wow. And so I was just doing that, you know, and I was always that person in my friend group, in my family. And so one day I got this DM from a guy and he said, hey, I'm just really lost right now. I need to provide for my family though. How much do you charge to help me come up with a business idea? And I was like, charge. This is 2014.
Right.
No, well, so it started in 2012, but this is in 2014. Mm-hmm. I said, charge. How much do I charge for this? And I threw out a number. I said $97. And he's like, sign me up. And I'm like, all right. And so I did a call with him and he went and he started his business. And so then I made an offer out of it. Like you could get a coaching call with me. The only thing I helped you do was think of a couple of business ideas that you might want to entertain. I didn't know how to tell you how to monetize it, structure it, organize it. Didn't know any of the legal stuff that went behind it. I just knew to say, hey, you probably be a really, really good basketball trainer to kids that whose fathers were in the NBA, but they won't listen to them. They probably listen to you. Like I was really, really good at giving you that idea. That was it. And as that business continued to grow and I did more and more of that, now I have to organize it. Like, okay, I got money coming in and who was supposed to be on my schedule today at this time? Oh, I need a calendar. I need this. How am I collecting money? Did they pay? I don't know. What did I tell them last week? I need notes. So as I'm going through these cycles of business, I'm having to get systems in place and all these things to keep things organized because I was getting so many people that I was losing track of what I was telling people, if they paid through PayPal or if they paid through Stripe or Square or whatever. And I had to organize that stuff. And then when I organized it and I saw how that worked in my business, after it then grew. I'd then be able to say, hey, this is what you should do. When you do it, if you do it, come back to me and I'm gonna tell you how to organize it. And so that's when I started teaching people systems. And as my business grows, I teach whatever that growth looks like.
Wow. And you know, I got so many more questions to ask you, but I gotta let you go. But you coming back because I got a whole list of stuff that I want to ask you. I got to cut it off though, but this is the last topic I want to talk about. And this is why I realized I said, Ms. Wiggins is really assertive. I don't care if you got 10 guns pointing at you and you have a gun with no bullets in it, you still gonna be there fighting. And I need to ask you about this situation. What did you learn from this situation? And you know what I'm talking about, that you had a little battle on social media, and 2 or 3 guys coming at you and David. And it's like David did a little fight, then he kind of left it alone. But I woke up, Donnie was in the alley fighting by herself. She was fighting everybody. I'm like, then the next day, I'm like, Donnie's still out there fighting. It's like you didn't give up on that battle. And I don't know if David gave up. I think he just got tired of it. But you was like,
yeah.
What
I eventually stopped too. That was, so we talked about when I joined Social Proof, I got negative feedback.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my first time, what you're talking about, being
Right.
slandered on the internet, right? David had been slandered on the internet before. So he had already learned that if you respond to these people, they will keep going, right?
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't learned yet. All right, this is my first slander.
Right.
What's up? So I was waking up in the middle of the night, like, and
I'm like, she in the alley.
but
and another thing.
Yeah. I mean, and there were thousands upon thousands of comments, and obviously you cannot entertain them all, but there was just some that were just like, oh, I actually have to defend myself here.
Mm-hmm.
And in that particular case, it worked for me to defend myself. When things are untrue, it always just finds a way to go away. So that happened. But also, you can't sometimes, so I don't really pay attention to a whole lot of negative stuff. And that's why, like, a lot of the questions about alpha this or boss that, like, I don't even really give it a lot of energy because my mindset is just somewhere else, right? I am trying to build a business, take care of my family, end up in a relationship with a man who wants to change the world with me, or our piece of the world. Like, that's what I want out of my life. And so all of these little ancillary details about who makes more money and this, that, and the other, it doesn't matter to me. And that's the truth. I believe what matters is whatever you decide works for you. There are some absolute no-nos that will not work for me. And there are some like, we can see. I don't know. But when it comes to like things like that happened on the internet, I let a lot of stuff go. People say something negative about me every day online. When you're a leader, though, and you decide to champion a cause, you will always face public scrutiny. And that's a whole other podcast episode where we talk about psychology of why that happens. But in this particular case, sometimes you have bullies who believe that they have the authority to end you. And sometimes you have to courageously face your bully and say, you have no authority here. And that's all I did.
That. You did that. I remember the next day I woke up, I'm like, she's still in the alley fighting. And then a day later, Donnie is out there. She like, this ain't over with. I'm gonna finish y'all off. And
yeah, because you'll get people who will, sometimes if you say nothing, it goes away. And then sometimes if you say nothing, it grows. And I had already made it up in my mind that I wasn't going to entertain it very long. I responded, maybe for 2 days. This went on for over a month. I maybe spent 2 days responding to it. I wasn't going to entertain it very long, but I believe it's important to stand up for yourself, for sure. Like, while I'm not going to respond to every comment and every post and every drag and slander campaign, there will be evidence that I spoke up for myself. And then those people who are reading along can choose to believe it or not believe it. My job here isn't to convince anybody of anything. It's simply to say that you have no authority to end me.
Right.
Period.
Right. Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not going to hold you any longer, but I would like for you to talk to our audience and say, you know, as being a business coach, what would you, okay, the question, I guess my question would be, you can coach anybody in business. They got a construction company, they got whatever, they can call you for coaching. I mean, who do you not coach?
I don't coach a lot of people. So right now I only work with brands that, I believe that I can impact in a major way. I work with people, I work with entrepreneurs in a couple of different ways. First of all, my mentorship community, Actionable CEO, is for every entrepreneur. Anybody at any level can come in and learn. It's for the entrepreneur or the business owner founder who wants to personally develop, mentally develop, financially develop. And that's for that person like, dang, Donnie, how do you just keep going? How do you take this hit and keep going? How do you see what people say about you and keep going? That's for the person who's like, with all the good that you do and this just happens, like, how do I become that entrepreneur? You want to be inside of Actionable CEO. I teach all kinds of habits, daily habits, mindset skills, business tips and things like that inside of Actionable CEO. And that's my low ticket entry offer, $97 a month. But then I have a consulting and coaching. I have a consulting package and a coaching package. The consulting package is for entrepreneurs who are at that 7-figure level and they're looking to scale their business. And because that's a one-on-one capacity, I generally do an interview with the entrepreneur, and we see if it's not just about their business industry, but is there alignment in our personalities? Do we believe that we're a good fit? Like, if I am speaking to you like this, are you going to receive the information from me and actually execute on it? Are you going to do the work? So in that instance, it could essentially be any type of entrepreneur, but I don't just judge based on the industry. There's a whole formula for how I pick my clients. And the same thing with my coaching clients. I prefer to work with digital brands versus brick and mortar brands, just because sometimes when you start to work with brick and mortar brands and they're coming to you at the place that they're at, there's oftentimes a financial capacity issue that doesn't allow you to keep inventory and the physical bills paid and invest in the growth of your business. So I still also, again, interview those individuals one by one just to see if there is any opportunity for us to work together. But when you come for coaching, it's very important that you're coming with an open mind, that you're coming with a coachable mind, that you are coming with a level of work ethic that probably is superior to the work ethic that you display on your own. But you also have to have access to capital to take the coaching and actually implement it in your business.
Cool. Well, y'all heard it, folks, from the big homie, D. Donnie Wiggins.
Yep.
The number one and
is the number one business coach to some of your favorite entrepreneurs today.
Wow. Okay, cool. Well, she's coming back. We're going to get her again because we could do like 3 of them. I got questions and a lot of them. So, but this has been another episode of Elite Psyche. Make sure you go and subscribe and like and, comment too. I get a lot of likes and stuff, but you need to comment. Say something about Miss Wiggins and all the good stuff that she said today. But put those comments in. We about at 7,000 subscribers. My goal was to get to my goal is to get to 10,000 in 12 months. We got 2 more months. We're at 10 months now. 2 more months to get 3,000. I know y'all can do that, but
get it.
Just get it. Yeah, like, comment, do all that stuff. And we'll definitely appreciate it on that. So, all right, folks, y'all have a good day, and thank you again, Ms. Wiggins.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you soon.
All right. Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the all button and all that kind of stuff, because we're going to have a lot of good interviews on this podcast.